Hi, I'm Arabella. I'm a graphic designer who married the love of my life 2 years ago, though I didn't realize his mother would become my own personal nightmare. You need to drink more water. Hydration is crucial during pregnancy. Vivian handed me yet another glass of water, hovering as I sat at her dining table. Thanks, but I'm about to float away as it is. I forced a smile while exchanging glances with my husband, Marcus. Mom, I think Arabella knows what her body needs, Marcus said, squeezing my hand under the table. Nonsense. First-time mothers need guidance. That's why I'm here. Vivian straightened the pregnancy books she'd arranged on her coffee table, color-coded and tabbed with sticky notes. Ever since we announced the pregnancy, Vivian had appointed herself chief pregnancy manager. Weekly family dinners became pregnancy lectures. My own mother lived across the country, so I initially appreciated the support, misguided as it was. Actually, I'm organizing Arabella's medical files for her. I've scheduled her appointments through the third trimester and created a binder system. Vivian beamed proudly. That's really not necessary. It absolutely is. With Marcus working those long hours, someone needs to stay organized. Remember how you mixed up your last appointment? I hadn't mixed it up. Vivian had corrected my calendar without telling me. Let me help with the paperwork. I used to work as a medical receptionist, you know? Vivian insisted when my first test results came in. Marcus looked relieved. That would be great, Mom. Work's been crazy lately. Against my better judgment, I agreed. Vivian began attending appointments, collecting test results, and filing everything in her meticulous binder system. I only saw summaries she prepared. Today was my 20-week ultrasound. Marcus took the day off, and for once, Vivian stayed home. Let's see how the little one's developing, Dr. Patel said, moving the transducer across my gel-covered belly. Marcus squeezed my hand as we stared at the screen. That's odd. Dr. Patel adjusted something on the machine. Is everything okay? Marcus asked, voice tight with concern. Everything looks healthy, but I'm seeing 2 distinct heartbeats. You're having twins. Dr. Patel pointed to 2 flickering spots. Didn't you know? This should have been noted in your earlier scans. Twins? I gasped. No, all the reports said 1 baby. Dr. Patel frowned, clicking through my digital chart. That's strange. Let me check your records again. As Dr. Patel stepped out, Marcus and I stared at each other in shocked silence. How could we not know? Marcus whispered. A cold realization washed over me. Vivian had been handling all my medical paperwork. She'd seen all test results before me. Your mother, I said slowly. She's been organizing everything. You don't think... Call her, I demanded. Ask her if she knew about twins. When Marcus stepped out to make the call, I sat alone, staring at the frozen ultrasound image of 2 distinct babies. My hands trembled as a single terrible question formed in my mind. What else had Vivian been hiding from me? Marcus returned to the exam room, his face pale. She knew. She absolutely knew and didn't tell us. I gripped the edge of the exam table. What exactly did she say? She acted surprised at first, then claimed she thought we already knew, said there must have been a mix-up with the paperwork. That night, I couldn't sleep. While Marcus snored beside me, I slipped out of bed and headed to our home office. I needed to see those files for myself. I called my best friend Sophia the next morning. I need your help with something. Can you come over? Marcus is at work and his mom won't be stopping by until later. Girl, you sound stressed. I'll bring coffee and be there in 20. When Sophia arrived, I explained everything while spreading the medical files across the kitchen table. Look at this. I pointed to my 12-week scan results. This clearly shows 1 baby, but there's something off about the document. Sophia examined it closely. This has been altered. See how the text alignment is slightly different in this section? I deal with document formatting all day at the law firm. Someone modified this file. We dug deeper, comparing the hospital's online portal records with Vivian's carefully organized binder. These are completely different reports, Sophia gasped. The portal shows twins detected at week 12, but Vivian's version only mentions 1 baby. She must have edited the documents before showing them to me. I whispered, feeling sick. But why would she hide this from us? Your mother-in-law has always been controlling. Remember how she tried to change your wedding venue last minute? The doorbell rang, startling us both. That's probably her now, I said, hastily gathering the papers. Hide in the guest room. I need to confront her. But as I approached the door, I heard Vivian's voice outside, talking to someone. Come in for a minute, Natalie. Arabella isn't expecting me for another hour. I ducked into the hallway closet, leaving the door cracked open as they entered. I can't believe you're still going through with this, Vivian, Natalie said, setting her purse on my couch like she owned the place. It's working perfectly. You should have seen her face yesterday when she discovered she was having twins, completely overwhelmed. But isn't that dangerous? Hiding medical information? Please, I just adjusted a few reports. The babies are fine. But now Arabella realizes she can't handle motherhood. 2 babies instead of 1? She'll crack under the pressure. And Marcus will see that his precious wife isn't mother material after all? Exactly. He'll finally understand that she's not the right woman for him. Always working, barely cooks, no maternal instincts whatsoever. When she falls apart, I'll be there to pick up the pieces. My blood boiled as I listened to them casually discussing my life, my marriage, my babies. What if they find out what you did? Natalie asked. They won't. I've been careful. And even if suspicions arise, it's my word against hers. Marcus has always trusted his mother. I'd heard enough. As they continued chatting, I texted Sophia. Get your phone ready to record. We've got all the evidence we need. My hands stopped shaking as a calm determination settled over me. Vivian had messed with the wrong woman. This wasn't just about me anymore. It was about my babies, my marriage, and making sure Vivian never manipulated our lives again. After Vivian and Natalie left, Sophia emerged from the guest room, her eyes wide. That woman is pure evil. No wonder you've been stressed since your wedding. I paced the living room, energy surging through me. We need to expose her, not just to Marcus, but to everyone. No one will believe me otherwise. You need hard evidence. Something she can't talk her way out of. We spent the afternoon plotting. Sophia pulled out her laptop and started typing. Here's what we do. First, you act like her plan is working. Seem overwhelmed, stressed about the twins. Make her think she's winning. Then what? We need her to confess again? But this time we'll record it. And not just for Marcus. We need his dad and the whole family to hear it. Richard, my father-in-law, adored me and had always kept Vivian's controlling tendencies in check. If he knew what she'd done, he'd be furious. For the next week, I played my part perfectly. Whenever Vivian visited, I'd appear disheveled and anxious. I don't know how I'll handle twins, I whimpered as she smugly poured me tea. It's just so overwhelming. Motherhood isn't for everyone, dear. Perhaps you should consider other options. What options? I asked, phone recording in my pocket. Well, Marcus could take a more active role while you focus on yourself. I'd be happy to help raise my grandchildren. The following weekend, Sophia helped me set the perfect trap. Richard was hosting a barbecue for their 35th anniversary, with the whole family attending. Richard agreed to help, Sophia whispered as we arrived at their backyard. He didn't believe me at first, but I showed him the altered documents. Does Marcus know? Not yet. Richard wants Vivian to incriminate herself first. I spotted Marcus by the grill with his dad. Vivian was arranging flowers on the patio table, looking perfectly put together as usual. I approached her, shoulders slumped, voice quivering. Vivian, can we talk privately? I'm thinking about what you said, about my options. Her eyes lit up with triumph as she followed me to the gazebo, where Sophia had hidden a small speaker connected to my phone. I just don't understand why the doctors didn't tell us about the twins sooner, I said loudly. Oh, Arabella, sometimes things happen for a reason. But all those early reports only showed one baby. She leaned closer, lowering her voice. Between us, sometimes a little intervention is necessary. Marcus needed to see you couldn't handle motherhood. You mean you knew all along? You changed my test results? I simply edited the paperwork for everyone's benefit. You're clearly not cut out for this, And now Marcus will see that too. I pressed a button on my phone. Suddenly, Vivian's voice boomed across the yard. I simply edited the paperwork for everyone's benefit. Vivian froze as everyone turned toward us. Marcus and Richard approached the gazebo, their expressions thunderous. What did you just say? Marcus demanded. I didn't mean... Play it again, Richard ordered. I hit replay, watching the color drain from Vivian's face as her confession echoed around us. She looked frantically from face to face, suddenly realizing there was no way out. You manipulated medical records? Richard looked stunned. Our own grandchildren? It was for Marcus's own good, Vivian protested. She's not right for him. Marcus stepped forward, placing a protective arm around me. No, Mom, you're not right for us. The barbecue ended abruptly as guests awkwardly gathered their belongings and slipped away. Richard paced the patio, running his hands through his silver hair. 35 years of marriage, and I never thought you'd do something like this. Tampering with medical records? Our grandchildren? What were you thinking? Vivian collapsed into a chair, mascara streaming down her face. I was protecting our son. She's not good enough for him. Not good enough? Marcus slammed his fist on the table. She's my wife, carrying my children, and you deliberately put them at risk. Do you understand what could have happened if there were complications? Sophia pulled me aside as the confrontation escalated. We need to report this to the hospital. What she did wasn't just cruel, it was illegal. The following Monday, Marcus and I sat across from the hospital administrator, a stern woman named Miss Reynolds. We have all the original documents here, along with the altered versions Vivian created. I pushed the folder across the desk. Plus recorded confessions. Miss Reynolds examined the evidence, her expression darkening. This is a serious breach of medical ethics and potentially criminal. We'll be contacting the authorities. Will this affect my wife's care moving forward? Marcus squeezed my hand. Absolutely not. We'll assign a new care team and implement extra security protocols for your records. 2 weeks later, Vivian was charged with medical fraud and tampering with healthcare documents. She avoided jail time but received 3 years probation, a hefty fine, and community service at a women's shelter. The social fallout was even more devastating for her. Richard moved out, filing for separation. Family friends who'd attended the barbecue spread the story throughout their social circle. Did you hear what Marge said? Sophia reported during our weekly coffee date. Vivian's been kicked off 3 charity boards and uninvited from the country club holiday gala. I don't take pleasure in her downfall, I lied, rubbing my growing belly. But consequences exist for a reason. 5 months later, I was in the delivery room, Marcus holding one hand and Sophia the other. One more push, urged Dr. Patel. Our daughters, Emma and Olivia, entered the world healthy and screaming. As I held them in my arms, a nurse appeared at the door. There's a Vivian in the waiting room insisting on seeing her grandchildren. Marcus straightened his shoulders. Tell her she's not welcome. Later that evening, as Marcus dozed in the hospital chair, my phone buzzed with texts from Vivian. Please let me see my granddaughters. I've changed. I'm in therapy. I'm truly sorry. I've sent flowers and gifts to your room. Can we talk? Family is everything. Don't keep me from them. I blocked her number without responding. 6 months later, at the twins' christening, Richard approached with his new girlfriend, Janet. Vivian's still asking about seeing the girls. That's never going to happen, I replied, watching Marcus proudly show off our daughters to our friends. Good for you, Richard nodded. Some people never truly change. As we gathered for family photos, without Vivian, I looked at my beautiful daughters, my supportive husband, and the genuine people who surrounded us. Cutting toxic people from our lives hadn't diminished our family. It had made it stronger. What would you have done if you were in Arabella's shoes? Would you have completely cut Vivian out of your children's lives forever? Or would you have eventually allowed supervised visits after genuine change and therapy? Is there any betrayal so severe that forgiveness becomes impossible, even for family? If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your experiences dealing with toxic family members. Subscribe for more compelling stories about overcoming difficult relationships and standing up for yourself. New videos every day.